One. And we on.
Live from the gorgeous Prince George's. This is the one and only, the illustrious, soon to be world famous, Shattered Illusionz Podcast.
Will I take him to the cranking?
Hey, Will, get that camera for me real quick. Guys, a couple announcements before we start. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Rumble at Shattered Illusionz. We've been growing at a good rate. Entrepreneurs, anybody that wants to come down here and promote your business, let us know. Hit us up. We will be closing the entrepreneurship show soon. After we hit 1,000, you got to be severely vetted to even come on here because we've been growing and we want to keep that shit going. Not going to really hold it too much longer. Got to check in on the family. Oliver Fortune, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, bro?
Doing absolutely excellent. We got a great showing for y'all. Make sure that y'all follow us on Rumble, Free Top G, and hey, you guys ain't gonna want to miss this one. Ladies, if you want to come on, or like you said, entrepreneurs, if you want to come on, make sure you DM the page. Let's get it set up
and help out in the background too, ladies. We need help in the background. Will, my man, it's his birthday, man. What's up, bro?
Will I take him to the cranking?
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Will! Yeah, nigga.
We are definitely lit. Definitely.
This nigga's not even really here right now. Like this nigga's brain is somewhere else. But we gonna get right into our show. So I want to preface this by saying, I fucked up the last show we had with this shit. We got a girl back down here. She's graced us with her presence again. And I messed the show up last time. We did a fire interview before, but fuck that shit. We can't do nothing about it now. But she's back. She took a time out of her busy schedule, about to get married and everything. And she took time out of her schedule to come down here and mess with the Shattered Illusionz Podcast. This is somebody that's family now. It's our girl Keya. She has her own brand, Truly Bonded. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, but I just had to give her flowers before we pass it to her. So, Keya, what's up with you?
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me again.
It's
such a pleasure.
You had to say that.
I'm Keya, the owner and CEO of Truly Bonded, a loungewear brand here in the DMV area that focuses on women and men's comfy loungewear, things that you can wear indoors, outdoors, just something comfortable that the everyday person can wear.
Yeah, so Keya, like we said, we appreciate you. So let's kind of get into the genesis of everything, like I always like doing. Where'd you grow up? All that stuff. How's you and your parents' relationship? Let's kind of get there before we start going up.
Okay, definitely. I grew up partially like in the DC area. I grew up in Southeast with my mom and father in one household.
Awesome.
We then moved to like Landover area. And that's where we spent most of our time. Went to middle school, some elementary school, some of my elementary school, middle school, high school, in the Landover area. Graduated from high school, Fairmont Heights. And yeah.
Boo.
That's Fairmont was lit, okay?
I bet it was.
What elementary school you went to?
Okay, so I went to Holy Redeemer. It was like a Catholic school in Northeast. And then from there, I went to New Carrollton Elementary School.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's like when we kind of moved to like the Landover side.
Okay.
And so,
go ahead.
And so, yeah, so my sister and my parents, we moved to Landover. And that's where it kind of like, we spent most of our time. Like we grew up, like that was like our household. That was like our house, like our main house in Landover. And then went to college, like, always had both of my parents in one household. Graduated from college, went into healthcare. From healthcare, I spent so much time, did so much, like accomplished so much in healthcare, and then kind of figured I wanted to take a different route into the entrepreneur world, get my feet wet, and I did that, and then that's what kind of led me here. That's like a quick synopsis of like how I got here.
Have you always had the entrepreneurial bug, or it's just kind of something that developed over time, do you think?
I think it developed over time, definitely, because like from the beginning, like I would say something that always stuck with me was like always helping people. That's like the one thing, like just whatever I did, like just helping. And I thought that I could only do that like in the healthcare field.
Sure.
Like being on the front center, like saving people's lives, literally like saving people's lives. Like that's what I thought it was all about. And then I realized, like, no, you could do other things like background things, entrepreneurship. Like I helped so many. I didn't even know, like, I could help so many women. Like,
yeah.
feel like to be a woman again. Like I didn't know I could do that. And so I feel like I'm just on this new adventure of like helping people like through entrepreneurship.
Because your brand, like I said before, but your brand is pretty big here in the DMV.
Mm-hmm.
Even before we even knew who you were, you have several people that we know by association now, but also people that followed the page, followed you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize like how big your brand actually was and is becoming. So behind Truly Bonded, like where did the name come from? How'd that start? Things like that.
So it's so funny that I tell people that Truly Bonded was a secondary name. Our first, I won't say the first name because I'm still working things out with that name, but that name didn't work out for me at first. But so I literally had to talk with God. Like I shut everything down. I was like, hold on, because I didn't study too hard for this work. I put so much work into it prior to us launching. I was like, this can't be it. Like I can't fail. So I talked to God about it like all night, probably like woke up, went back to sleep, woke up, and then and then like the name came to me. It was crazy. Like I always say, God gave me that name, and the reason behind that name is just like truly bonded. Like me and my family were so knit tight. Like nothing can really break us up. Like yeah, we're gonna have our arguments or disputes, but nothing. We're so tight, so bonded. So me and my sister, like okay, so let me back up. Me and my sister both started the brand. She's not here today, but me and her started the brand. So like my vision is like me and her, like our bond is so close. And that's what the name kind of came about as well, like a true bond. Whether it's a relationship, platonic, sexual, any type of relationship, like it's a bond in my eyes. And so it just kind of came from all the relationships I had in the past with my family members. Like we're all so tight, and that's what it really boiled down to.
So I want to say this, and I said this on the last show before too. Like, I'm kind of weary of anybody that mentions like, law of attraction and manifestation and shit like that, because while I do believe in it, but a lot of people have it misconstrued. But just like you were saying, you kind of laid down, the name just kind of came to you. I said this on my last show, but that's kind of how Shattered Illusionz came too, because like we was just like, because Oliver and I had the name initially Unplugged. But Unplugged was taken by another person that we kind of follow. So I like thought about it for weeks. I was like, what the fuck can I call this shit? And like all of a sudden I was on the stair climber, just came to me like boom. So that shit can be real. And I mean, I think that just hearing now, like you're the second person that said that the name just came to him out of nowhere. So I just like hearing shit like that. So back to you initially started with women's care, right? Like with women's lines. Did you always want to be a woman-only brand? Did you naturally go towards men? How did that work? Like, what was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, so I think initially I never really focused too much on just women-owned or just being all women. Like, we're going to be women empowerment. Like, no, that was really never the first idea. I think my first idea was, how can I bring communities together, like from all over the world, no matter if it's women, man, there, thee, she, die, like just all over. Like, how can I unite us in some way? And I think it just kind of became women because like me and my sister, like we bond over so many things, and just clothes happen to be one. And so it's like me and you like together. Like, I think that's why it focused so much on women in the beginning, because we're both women, of course. And so I think that's where it kind of came from.
Is she still involved in the business now, or just
she is?
Cool.
Yeah, she's definitely still involved. Definitely still helps me with a lot of the business aspects.
Oliver, I want you to kind of get involved in this too, man. You've been quiet.
Oh no, man! I just wanted to make sure you got everything you want to get over. Yeah. So my biggest thing is like the transition. So you say you started off in the healthcare, and I think that's where a lot of people start off. They start off doing something, and let's say. And you said you felt like you was doing good, you was saving lives, but like how did you feel in that moment when you was kind of like, dang, man, I kind of want to make this transition, and like, how did you do it? Like make that transition from being in the healthcare field, sacrificing so much time to be there, and then actually making that transition. Like, how was that like for you? Like, how did you do that?
I think the moment I realized, for me, it was COVID. It definitely changed everything. Like normal day in healthcare, it's like, yeah, you get a death here and there, but like COVID, like it wiped me out. Like, sure. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when I say so many deaths, like that I feel like it takes a toll on anybody. Sure. And that really, like, I was like, I can't deal with it. Like, I think at the time when I was in healthcare, I was dealing with a sick dad. lost him. So it was a lot going on in the moment. And I was just like, I can't. Like, it's just weighing too much on your mental health. Like, it's just so much. So I was like, what else can I do? And the next thing that I thought in my brain was like, go in the back part of it. Like, so I was going into like human resources and like administrative assistant things, like just stuff. It was still in healthcare, but it was still like I took the back end of it. I wasn't on the front end anymore. I wasn't doing CPR every day. I wasn't doing those things every day. I would just took the back burner. And that was kind of like the first shift for me. And once I did that, once I was in the office, it was like, okay, my mind is really going. Because in healthcare, you got to realize your mind is like, okay, if I have a cold, I got to run to this cold. Your mind is on so many things. But in the background, I had so much time to like develop my brain, to think about things, to sit in who I am. Like, I just had so much time to think. And I think that was the first shift for me.
And you felt like that being in that point when you was in that office, like, dang, I can be doing something more.
Something else.
It's like, why am I? And I feel like a lot of people feel that way, but they get scared to make that jump, that transition. So like, how did you do that? Like, from that point, was like a transition to where it's like you just jump, say, fuck it, empty the bank, fuck it, burn the boats? Or was it something where it's like you gradually just did it and eventually just when it got to a certain point, you just quit? How did you do it?
Yeah. So like in the office, I definitely had like so many thoughts about it, like constant thoughts. But I made sure I saved enough money. I made sure that I had a clear vision on what I wanted my brand to be from the beginning before I made any decision on jumping ship. I made sure I had a very, very, very clear distinction of what I wanted it to be and what I didn't want it to be. Right. And once I made that decision, I think I was always planning to leave my job, but it probably was one thing that tipped it off for me. It could have been one bad office day and I was like, this is it. Right. 2 weeks in, I'm done. Like, I could be using this time to focus on me, right? Because number one, I'm a very good employee. So, when I realized my value and I realized how somebody else was devaluing me, like it was a no-brainer. Like, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to focus on myself, focus on how I can move myself up, my family up. Like, just, I was thinking so far in the future, literally, like, where I was, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
It just seemed like you had like a bigger role to play. You wanted to make a bigger contribution.
Yes. And that's my biggest thing. Like, I really I don't play about my mark on this earth. Like, I want to leave here with something. What Denzel say? I'm leaving here with something. I'm about to say, I'm leaving here with something. Okay. And that's how I feel. Like, I want to do so much. Like, being in this, I'm in a box and I need to figure out a way to get out this box.
How to make that jump.
Yeah. And I didn't do it. I did it not even thinking about it, but prior to doing it, I already had a plan. And I always say I have a plan for something.
And how long would you say it took you to cultivate that? Like, from the time you were sitting in the office, like you said, and then actually cultivating, like, okay, my first launch, how long was it between that time period? We talking about like 6 months, a year, 2 years?
I would say a year and a half.
A year and a half
From when I first got my job. When I first got the office job, I literally was already putting it in my little savings bank. Like, I always have like different banks of savings. This bank is for that bank is for that. I had one bank for quitting my job. Oh. And so it was like my bank, when I quit my job, it probably wasn't even where it should have been, but I was like, I'm gonna make it work. Like, for my mental health, for what I feel like I should be, I'm gonna make it work. And so I just was like, my manager was like, hold on, are you sure? She's like, you got a wedding in like 9 months. Are you sure you want to? Like, and I felt, and honestly, y'all, in that moment, I felt like the devil will put things in your way to like roadblock you. And so I felt like nothing was going to get in my way. I always tell God, like, God, if this is not the path you want me on, you have to set fire. Because I'm not quitting. Like, I'm so sturdy. Like, I'm so positioned. You have to like literally toss me off my course because I'm so focused. Like, that's the energy I have with it. Like,
and trying to make that jump, from having that security net to having that first launch. There's a guy named Luke Belmore. He's a great entrepreneur, but he always talks about you're going to go through that season of doubt, but you got to persist through that. And when everybody's telling you, don't do it, it's going to fail. But like you said, that mental resilience to stay in there, hang in there and get it is very, very special.
Very.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So let's talk about the logistics of it a little bit. Last time you were here, which we fucking lost on audio too. Fuck this shit.
It's okay. Real ball of the job.
We live and we learn.
But you were talking about some of the logistical plays behind bond and everything, truly bonded and everything. So you were saying the demographics of your basically your inventory, it was coming from different areas in the country. You were saying even things like I think it's Texas at one point. You had a large order in
Florida,
Texas, Florida.
Texas.
How do you think that you gravitated from being outside the DMV to going down to Texas and Florida? How do you think that happened?
I think it's so funny. Like, I think it happened with just education.
Yeah.
Just education, literally. Like, it's so funny. Like, starting the business, I gave everybody that I was working with, and this is all family bound. I'm like giving my fiance, like, okay, hey, you're the marketer. You're going to figure out ways, because he's good at that. Like, everything that everybody was good at, I'm like, okay, you do this for me. You do this for me. So if he's researching, like, what's good in this state at this time, we running ads to that. And so literally it was running Facebook ads, and Facebook ads ran to Instagram. And then, like, when your analytics will tell you everything you need to know about your whole business. So when I looked and seen where this order was coming from, oh, it's in Florida, oh, it's in Texas, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. It's because we ran ads in all those states.
Oh, shit.
So, and literally too, like, it happens with the different people that we met along the lines. Like, I've had people say, like, oh, my sister bought from you this time last year, and now I'm happy I got to caught up with you. So it's word of mouth, but it's also, I would say, definitely as if I always tell people, if you want to reach a new audience, you have to do new things.
Yeah.
You have to do new things.
Because I never really thought about, like, you just running the ads in that specific area. And do you think that maybe, like, you got so hot, no pun intended, in that area because of the weather down there? Maybe, like,
definitely.
Okay, yeah.
You have to be strategic. Like, you have to be like, so if it's cold here, and I know I have like a whole bunch of like summer inventory, but it's December here. Like, ain't nobody gonna buy some blue shorts. Ain't nobody gonna do that. So I have to be strategic, and I have to like figure out, okay, what can I do with this inventory? I'm gonna run an ad in Texas, in Houston, like in Florida. Like, it's always kind of hot there. Don't get like no 60 degrees. They could wear their shorts out there. So why not run my ads, and specifically my hot stuff, like my shorts, my leggings, my, anything, dresses in those states, because they're more prone to get it.
So you were already ahead of the market in that aspect, just already thinking ahead.
Yes.
So I kind of want to ask this too. Like, I don't know shit about clothes at all. So let's just say that you're focusing, okay, what is it right now? Fucking spring, right?
Spring.
It's spring. So are you already looking towards winter right now? Like, how long before the season are you actually looking to like getting like things stocked for that season?
Right. I would definitely say I would do a season before. So right now, if we're in spring,
okay,
I would say look at, it's kind of like 2 seasons, honestly, because if we're in spring, you should be looking at the fall.
Okay, right.
So because you want to be able to sample your things. And sometimes, and mind you, believe me, we are less than 2 years in business. So we are still learning. Let me make a disclosure. Okay. We are still learning. So anything that I'm saying right now, it's bound to change. Like, these are all the things that I learned in less than a year. That's because I did the education, number 1. But number 2 is the research. Like, you have to, like, if we're in spring right now, you have to figure out what the people will want in the fall and what they will want in the winter. I already have my fall and my winter samples. I'm already, because it's going to take you about 30 days to get it right. What if they mess it up? What if they mess it up? I'm dealing with something right now that my manufacturer done messed up, and they don't want to take accountability for. What am I going to do? How do I move forward?
Yeah.
Business is not easy. It's not easy. It's not for the weak. Like, it's definitely not easy. I would definitely say plan at least 2 seasons ahead.
And I want you to talk your shit too, because like you might be constantly learning, but you know a lot more than the average person that might be trying to start a clothing line. Because even with this podcast, I have learned so much shit just by doing, because my biggest thing in the past was I was just so afraid to even fucking try. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to be considered a rookie or anything, but like, how do you get good if you don't go through that phase of being a rookie and not knowing? And as you do more things, you test more things out, you kind of you realize, okay, that one kind of worked. Okay, maybe this one wasn't that good. Maybe I can try this next time. Oh, that one fucked up too. It's just like, it's a constant learning thing, but at least you have enough humility to say, you know what? I'm not an expert, but you're an expert to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you talk your shit when you're saying stuff like that.
That's true.
But back to the whole like being 2 seasons ahead thing. I just didn't know it was that even fucking deep. I didn't even think about on that level, because like you said, manufacturers constantly fuck up. There might be something that you liked initially, and then you get him like, don't really fuck with it like that. But like, I guess my question now is like, how are you anticipating your customers' needs? Because, we know fashion just kind of goes in and out of cycles. So how do you like anticipate what a customer might need or might want even before they might even know that they need or want it, if that makes sense?
No, it does. It does make sense. So what I normally do is like take what works. So I feel like what you always want to do as a seller, you always want to just take what works. Like, and even if you're just starting out, try your hand, figure it out, because that's what I had to do. Figure it out, see what they like, see what they don't like. And then once you see a pattern that's working, stick with it. Stick with the pattern. I know in the wintertime, my customers love thick, quality fabrics that's going to get them through. My clients can tell you today, they don't need a coat to go outside. They need that hoodie. When they put that hoodie on, they don't need a coat. Like, I know what my customers like, and that's what you build over time with mistakes and all of that. Like, I know, like, tall girl, like, it's just studying your clientele. That's the biggest thing. Study. If you're serious about your business, you're going to study. You're going to read the analytics. You're going to get those reviews, like figure out a way to get those reviews. Even if it's in person, you're going to do what you have to do for your business because you're just that serious about it. And once you study it, it's a no-brainer. You know what they like. You know what they don't like.
And I think it's good too, because that's what I said. I like what you said, how you started off. The biggest thing is about building a community. Because at the end of the day, it's all about how can I serve, and that's how we have to look at people. So like you said, you know what your customers want. I think the biggest thing in entrepreneurship, and I had to learn this too in my younger years, is like, it's not about what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's about what the people want. And at the same time, if this is what people are finding value in, that's what you keep working. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, what holds them back in entrepreneurship is that, they're so into themselves and they're not looking at how can I serve. They're more so looking at how can they serve themselves. And I think it's where a lot of people go wrong.
Exactly. So, like if I say I like pink, my favorite color is pink.
Yeah, we're gonna keep selling.
And I'm always still pink hoodies and pink this and pink that. My customers like, okay, girl, can we get black? Can we get brown?
They want blue. Orange?
Right. And so you have to definitely pay attention. Like that's the bottom line.
So I know Keya says she hates pink, by the way, but has pink nails. I wasn't gonna mention that today, but
I like pink. It's just not a favorite.
And I think the more, like you say, you get contacts and stuff from your community as well, because they'll tell you.
They gonna
tell you. And I think it's good too. And that's why they say, people so scared to get feedback back, but those are your biggest, like, you know what I'm saying? Those are like your biggest critiques, and that's how you get your shit gets better.
Listen, like even at a pop-up, I tell you, some customers, like even down in Georgetown, they be like, oh, can I try this on? Please do. They try it on there. And even, I'm going to tell you, 90% of the people walking out of there happy, but it's always that 10%, or it's always going to be that one person that just doesn't buy. I want to know why.
Right.
Like, and not in a cocky way, not in a mean way, but in a very like understanding, just want to know way. Yeah. Like, I just want to know why. Like, and when you tell me why, and it's some people that like is so honest with me, like, oh, well, this was too short on my bottoms. I'm really tall. I'm 6'5", and I need that. That's a click in my head, because I'm like, okay, my stuff needs to be a little longer for my tall girl. Right. Like, and I'm gonna work on it. It's never like, oh my gosh, she didn't like my stuff. Like, no.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like you said, seeing that consistent pattern as well. That's a huge thing. It's like, okay, if 8 people said this out of 10. Maybe I need to fix this.
Exactly.
100%.
Like, why not?
But that kind of my question too. Like, how do you kind of cater to a demographic that's just so wide? Because women come in all different shapes, sizes, all that stuff. So how do you kind of cater? Like, how do you make a one size fit all for a demographic that might not be one size fits all?
Right. I would say we definitely don't try to fit in a box. Okay. Like, we are who we are. We're gonna cater to who we can cater to. So right now, that's a certain size. We go from an extra small to a 3X. Our things stretch, so we make it do a 4X, but we're not forcing it.
Right.
We know who we are, and we're not trying to jip people. We're not trying to like do a misconception. Like, we know exactly who we are. We're going to explain it to the T. If it's not for you, it's just not for you for right now. Of course, we know, like, give us reviews and everything, and we can strive to do better. That's all we can do. But we definitely don't try to fit in a box. We try to go with the majority. So we know, like how you said, 8 out of 10 people, if they say it's too short, we're going to go longer.
Right.
That's the most that we can do. We it's impossible to please everybody, because everybody's not your target audience. And that's the thing too. Doubling down and knowing who your target audience is going to help you so much in this. Like, you have to know who you're serving.
And how did you find yours? Would you say you just threw out a rack of products and you just see who gravitated to it? Or did you let's say tell your story behind your brand and see who gravitates to it? How did you find your target audience? What was your process like?
So I feel like our process was knowing exactly what the brand was. So we knew we wanted to cater to women. We knew we wanted to cater to being comfortable. We knew we didn't want restricted clothing, club clothing. We knew we wanted to cater to the women that wanted to be comfortable in all types of like any type of activity they wanted to be comfortable. Homebodies, like run your errands to Target. Like that's
looking
what we
good
wanted.
for your man, for all the feminine women ladies out there.
Staying at home looking good though. That's what we knew exactly.
Night clothes.
Right. Like and still be comfortable but look good.
Right.
And so we knew that. But I think we didn't know how big we should go, how tall, how long we should have our things. And that came with experience.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, because we started with small to extra large. And then when we seen the clientele, they were like, oh no, I need a 2X, I need this, I need that. And we were like, okay, let's expand it. And we just started expanding. No, we don't have limits right now, but when we see the majority, we'll go with it. If it makes sense. I feel like in business, everything has to make sense.
Yeah.
Like your analytics, like look at it.
And
take
also,
reviews, take polls.
Yep. And also I think a lot of things that people don't look at too, not just looking at why the people like, you know what I'm saying, are unhappy, but also looking at why do people buy from you the first time?
Right.
Because the best people to buy from you is always the people that bought from you the first time.
Bingo.
So, and some people, it may not even be because it's comfortable. It's just, no, I love your story. I love you're a black girl. You're doing your thing. Or no, I love what you stand for. Knowing why people are buying from you is huge. So that way you can double down on that. If it's your story, cool. Let's get on more podcasts and tell more stories.
Exactly.
If it really is the comfortability, cool. Let's play on that. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that as well, why people buy is huge for your brand.
I agree with that. Honestly, because that's the cheapest customer to have is a returning customer. They're going to always spend and spend and spend and spend some more. That's the best customer. It's the cheapest customer to have versus going out and trying to get a new customer to figure out why they even like you from the beginning. You have one customer, double down on that, figure out why they even like you from the beginning, like how you said. It's the plan. It's literally gold.
Yeah.
Oliver always doubles down on that because, like, again, probably back to the podcast, I'm like, at first I just wanted to be liked by everybody, but I'm learning over time that everybody doesn't have to like you. There's over 300 million people in America. I don't need all 300 million to fuck with me. All I really need is a couple 100,000, if that. And that's a fraction of a single percentage point.
Yeah.
Just finding your like tribe and kind of just figuring that out for you. And marketing too is a big deal too, because Oliver is like the marketing guy in this whole thing. Like, you got to realize, like you said, why people fuck with you, what you're actually selling. And like, we look at some of these big brands, they're not even selling what they say they're selling. You know, Coke doesn't sell soda, they sell happiness.
Exactly.
What's it say? Apple doesn't sell computers, they sell status. You know, it's just like, you got to realize what it is that people mess with you for and then deliver on that product, man.
You have to sell the feeling. You have to sell
real.
the feeling. I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell loungewear. I want to sell comfortability, easiness. I want to sell saving you time in the morning to get dressed. You don't have to think about your wardrobe. I already got matching sets for you. I want to sell you that. I'm selling you a feeling. I'm not even selling you the product. And once people understand that, you're
hell, because of you, more girls might be looking good in the house now for they man. Shit, you keeping marriages up there because women be like, I ain't about to put on all that to be in the house, but if they got some easy shit to put on, shit, they can look good in it.
And then if it's comfortable and it looks good, shit, and like you said, that could be a fucking just a run to Target. You know, I might hang out with my girls. I don't feel like getting dressed. And people, the one thing I'm learning as I get older now too is I pay to fucking save time. So if I don't gotta match shit up, it's already a matching set. It looks good. Yeah, convenience. I don't gotta deal with that shit. And that literally, I'm to a point now protecting every single mental ounce of like thing that I have up here. I protected it all. I'm trying to make as least decisions as possible during the day, because every decision that I make takes a little bit of my mental and my willpower. So
you got to save your energy for the big ones.
Facts. And like you always said, man, you be putting out literal fires a lot of the time. And like, I can't, when a literal fire or a figurative fire comes into my life, I have to save my energy for that big fire.
Yeah.
Not trying to find something to wear, not trying to find something to cook, not trying to get somebody to fucking cut my grass, which I finally got off that shit. I got somebody cutting my grass now, man.
There you go, man.
I gotta do that. So
and it's a hard transition because when you're in the middle class, right? Especially how we grew up, you know, one of the things that middle class people get it fucked up is like they sitting up there like, oh man, you know, I could do this. Why would I pay somebody? But they don't understand. It's not just you paying for the time, but you're paying for your focus, your energy, because that's what it comes down to: managing your energy and your focus. spent all day fucking cutting grass. Now I'm tired and I gotta come do a podcast and shit. Like, it's a lot when it's like crazy. When I can just do an hour of podcasting, maybe reach out to somebody and honestly maybe ink a deal that'll save me fucking months of grass cutting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just knowing how to manage your time for the big things and pay for the rest of that shit. Delegation. Yeah, that's what's up.
That's actually a good question, Keya. So how do you like manage your time? Because you're in a relationship, you're about to get married and everything like that, but you're also an entrepreneur, a full-blown entrepreneur. How do you manage your time and everything like that?
I think it's honestly like picking certain days to do certain things, picking certain times, and literally trying to giving yourself a schedule, basically, like as if you had a 9 to 5. And granted, if you don't have a 9 to 5 and if you're just winging it, some days you're gonna be lazy.
Facts.
But like how I was talking to you before, like treating it like the gym. Like every day we don't want to go to the gym, but you have it in your schedule to make it there. Like you gotta just make it. You gotta make it like you have
make
to
it a priority.
Right. And that's what I feel like works. Like once you make everything in your life a priority, your personal time, your business, your home life, you have to make each one a priority.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only time it'll work.
And just knowing where they stack up, you know what I'm saying? And be honest about it. Some people say, well, my business or my kids come first. No, they don't. Because damn well know when you got that fucking call because some shit fucked up, you left your kid. So no, just being honest about it and being honest why you doing shit as well.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people say, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship and love, what they'll say is like, well, why would I have my person on a schedule? That just seems so fake. It's not lovey. But at the same time, it's like, dog, like you're stupid to me if you don't have a schedule because your relationship is like everything else in your life. Has to be catered, has to be nurtured, just like going to the gym, just like your business. And if you're not nurturing it, hey, you know what? I'm gonna call off Friday. Fridays are all nights. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think relationships deteriorate because we're just relying on feelings instead of relying like, you know what? Nope. This is for my relationship for this time, this day, this how I'm going to nurture. And people don't ask themselves those questions. How can I nurture my relationship? Just like, how can I improve my workout program? Just like, how can I improve my business? How can I feed my relationship more to make my partner happy? Like people don't think about those things because they say it's too transactional, but that's what it is though.
But I agree too, because if it's not on your schedule, honestly, it's not a priority.
So
that's how I feel like. Yeah. Like that's just my thing. Like if I put everything in order, if you're left out of that order, then you were never a priority from the beginning. Why did I leave you out? Because I know I could get to you later. Like I even had to learn like to stop bringing my laptop to bed. Like that's a thing. Like when you are like when you're too invested.
Sorry, nigga, do not get
my laptop was coming to bed and I had to learn like, okay, maybe this is not the right time. Like let me close it off because I could be sending the wrong message to the next person. So it's definitely like just knowing the do's and the don'ts.
And I think this lady, I forgot the damn entrepreneur's name, but she said something that was just so profound to me. And like it's so simple but so profound. But she said everything in moderation, even moderation. So like when I get to a point where I'm like really in the flow with like editing clips and like looking at other podcasts and writing notes down, I'm like, I can look up. I start at 9 a.m. and be fucking 4 p.m. time me to go to the gym. And I get back, start doing, more editing and shit. Next thing I know, it's fucking 10 o'clock. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? And like, I'm to a point now where I'm like, you know what? The whole day I can work on whether it's work, podcast, or some other stuff. But at the end of the day, that's time for me now. After about 9 o'clock, I'm like, you know what? I'll watch a little bit of Netflix. I'll talk to one of my girls. I'll do something that's going to nurture and you thought that right?
I wish I would have saw my face on that.
We really need to get into that on an episode now. Yeah.
So I'll talk to one of my girls and I'll take them out and like I realized that it's like you just said, Oliver. It's just very making that a priority to nurture those relationships because if you don't, it's going to fall to the wayside. You wouldn't go to the gym once, twice a week and eat like shit the rest of the week and expect results. Yeah, you can't expect to spend 1 to 2 hours with your partner and expect to have a good, wholesome relationship. It doesn't work like that.
And also I think knowing yourself deeper can be big as well. Like for example, I know my love language is time. I don't care what nobody say that love language shit is real. You know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%.
Like a lot of my love, like, and I pick chicks instinctively that have time, love, and touch love languages. So if I got a chick that got time love, she don't give a fuck about what I'm doing. She just want to usually just be in my presence. So sometimes you can make that shit double work. So even if I'm doing some work or some shit like that, if she's just there with me, just being there, that can be enough. So it just all depends on like you said, you have to nurture a relationship, and that's where everybody wants to go into gender roles and stuff like that, but that's where you have to really know who is this person specifically. Because some girls, that's enough for. Some of them is like, nah, fuck that.
Right.
Like, you motherfucker, go do this for me or some shit, you know. So you got to know your partner, and that goes into nurturing. So yeah, but let's you got a question?
No, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, so like let's say going back, let's rewind it back, going into your first launch. So like what was like the nerves? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did you have like any nerves? Did you have any anxiety? Like, how did you fully pull the trigger and was like, this is the time?
Like,
did you have to give yourself a date? Okay.
But no, definitely. Like on the first launch, I can even remember now. Like, it's always that feeling like, is it good enough? Like, should I be doing this? Like, what are they gonna think? Like, I'm not okay. So like the public, I'm not really fond of them knowing too much of my business. So even like with the launch, I'm like, dang, do I really want them to know I've been working on this? Like, is it embarrassing? Like, oh my gosh, like what are people gonna think? So that was like, I would say my initial thoughts of it, but I know I worked so hard. Like the work that I put in, I worked too hard. Like the education that I took, I spent so much money just on education, period. Just so I know.
Nah, I feel you on that.
What I'm talking about when I'm talking it, like that alone. Like, but I also like a coach, Jan, shout out to Jance, y'all. Like she really like put it into perspective for me. It was like, if you keep working to make it perfect, it will never be perfect.
For sure. Yeah.
Like you would just be working forever because it's never going to probably be perfect for you.
Yeah,
so what's
true.
the point?
Yeah.
You just got to go.
So what was your thing? Like, did you like set a date? Like, nope. April 19th, this shit, I don't give a fuck how I feel. It's launching.
October 26th.
Okay. Oh, shit.
I said, this is the date, and this will be the anniversary date. They're on after. Like, this is just it. I have to put my big girl panties on, and I have to just do it. Like, no matter if it's perfect or not, I had a starting point. And I think that's the most important part, having a starting point, because that's the best thing, honestly. I feel like even with y'all have a starting point. So 3-5 years from now, you could look back to say this is where we came from.
Right, for sure.
This is where we came from. Like, look at where we are now. Like, and even sometimes I be catching myself now, like, dang, like this is what I did. This is what our first photo shoot looked like. Shit. Wow, we grew. Yeah. We grew. And that's the biggest thing for me.
But that analysis paralysis is just so real because like that was my thing for the longest, man. I'm like, you know what? Have to have this camera. This has to look like this. Lighting has to be like this. And the thing about Oliver's like my foil, and we kind of bounce each other out. I'm a person that's going to sit back and analyze every single freaking detail. Oliver's like, I don't give a fuck. Just get it done. I don't care. Let's just do it.
I can see that. I can see that.
So we balance each other out like very, very well. Because like, you know, I'll even say to some women sometime, like, you know, I'm the person. I'm a lot better at it now. But back in the day, I would have to be like, to approach a girl, I have to be like, you know what? It has to be the perfect time, perfect place. She has to be alone. She has to be wearing this.
Facts.
This
nigga sunny outside.
Grass gotta be green.
Facts.
Jesus gotta come back. You know, it's like it gotta be everything. This nigga Oliver has done it for me so many times. I be sitting there talking to him and stuff. What you think about that, Oliver? This nigga be halfway across the parking lot chasing the girl that I wanted. I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Jesus sandals, no haircut, t-shirt, half sleeve. Definitely not the perfect situation.
I won't see him do it, and I'll be like, "What you think about it? What should I do, Oliver?" Like, oh, I already talked to her. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, she'll be calling you tonight.
Should I say thank you?
Okay.
It's time when he had to literally yell at my ass, like, "Bro, chill out!"
Stop! Don't do that.
Yeah, but we all gotta have that engine to go because at the end of the day, the enemy is time. You know what I'm saying? We're all getting older. We're all slowly dying. That's just the reality for all of us. Right. So to me, how I look at it in my mind is, I mean,
Will's definitely get over 34 years old, man.
Yeah, I mean, not slowly dying like we're sick, but I mean, like, you know, at the end of the day, hey, our sand is ticking, and you know, my thing is like, I'm not about to sit and contemplate, especially with little shit that, hey, it's just got to get done. Fuck it, do it. I'll learn from it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just hey, so you got to go.
So is your sister like that for you? Do you think like who's the conservative one and who's the one like just fuck it, let's just do it?
I would say I'm the one to be like, let's just do it. She's the one that be like, wait, I see this in the background. I see that in the background. Are you gonna put like? She's a social media like person. I'm the one that be like, I'll post something and she'll text me like, did you see that in the background? Your caption said this and this. Like she's the one. Like she will analyze
But you need that person, though.
Definitely.
No,
What?
that shit is annoying, bro. Like,
I don't
that
think
shit's
I could
annoying.
do it. I don't think
No,
I
I'ma
could do it
tell
on
you-
her because
I'm gonna tell you why you need it, because when you just do it, I'm gonna tell you what, you'll make a lot of mistakes and you'll do a lot of good things, and a lot of people don't see the mistakes, but the things that kill you are the big mistakes. That one big mistake or that one fine print you ain't see, and that shit can set you all the way back. And you're like, fuck, why the fuck did I do that?
or why? How didn't I not see that?
Yeah, how did I not see it? But it's because you're going too fast or whatever. And like I said, for 90% of things, from what I've learned, they just got to just get done.
Yeah.
But there is certain things, especially when it comes to like contracts, like money, slow the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Because if you make a bad decision, it'll slow everything back. So it's always good. And I think it's always good to have somebody that's opposite of you, because they see things from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? I may not like to hear it, but I love when he tells me, bro, you might want to look at it. Fuck that. I'd be like, let's go to war. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I love when he tells me, like, yo, chill out. Because it's like, because I know he got my back and I know he got my best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? It's good. You got to have that.
That's funny you said.
You know, because if it's two of me, we might be in jail.
Lord.
We might be in jail. You know?
Flames.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My guy Mook, man, shout out to him. When I did the invoice for MSU, I put $18,000, right? And I sent him the invoice, like, and what you think of the invoice? He said, bro, did you look at it? Like, what? You put too much on it. I'm like, oh shit. I had to like go revise the whole thing. But just imagine if I didn't do that extra step and just sent it straight through.
You could have lost it.
They're like, oh, bro, it's too much.
Right.
And see,
Hell, they might have paid that shit.
and see this.
You
this,
never
and
know.
This, and this is where Oliver. This is where I'm a benefit to Oliver, because Oliver's like, a bitch don't text back. He like, man, fuck her. I ain't talking to her no more.
For life.
She ain't look at me. I'm never talking to her again. But I'm like, you know what, Oliver? Look, you know, females are naturally flaky. Give it a couple months and reach back out, and she'll be back around. Don't worry about it. He be like, man, fuck that, fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit.
But like,
Why that? She can't get no time. She can't get
because
women know what we want though.
Exactly. And
Right.
my,
That's the thing.
and
That's why
and my
a couple
thing
of
is, if I'm not your fucking first option, and it's my ego.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go pick some nigga over me and then think that you can come
back.
rally on back
Yeah,
and
like
you
make
see
a
I'm-
U-turn.
I'm doing shit now. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You're done for life.
but this is my thing. I always
For
tell
life.
them the same
Burn.
exact thing. We
Gasoline
know
drops.
that women, it's more than just attraction with women. I don't want to get too much on that because we already kind of talked about all that stuff. But it's more than just attraction. Like, for example, a girl can find you extremely attractive. She can feel like that you can be a future partner for her, but she might be involved with some dude that she has more time invested in. She might have had a bad day on the day that you met her. She could have got a period. It's a lot
sure.
more
So
So
factors.
many
than-
things.
yeah, and
A
And that's-
period
and
don't
that's-
count.
But that's why I tell him to just kind of just slow down, Oliver. Just a girl does not always say, here it is. James Clear said this. A no is very rarely ever a hard no. It's mostly a not right now for
Mhm.
anything.
That's
you
for
know what
sure.
I'm saying?
that's for sure. And in business and stuff, I will follow up. For a bitch, no. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like no. So it's like this, right? Whatever you do, whether it's entrepreneurship or any type of skill, you have to find yourself in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, for instance, if we was both basketball players, you can still both be Hall of Famers, but hey, I might be better at passing, you better at dunking, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So our styles is just different. For me, I can live with, I'm going to get this bitch off the fence. You going to tell me no or yes today. And I can live with that answer. Opposed to him, he's more like calm, calculated, let me strike it at the right time. He'll have a higher percentage rate. But for me, I'm going to get you off the fence. I'm going to know whether today or tomorrow, today, nah, it's going to be a yes or a no. And I'll force that shit.
You hard, Oliver.
I am.
Hey.
And before we get back to you, but like, I've kind of adopted some of his mindset. He's adopted some of mine because I'm a lot harder now too. But here's the difference: I'll get you off the fence, but I'll circle back around in 3 or 4 months.
Look.
You know what I'm saying?
Where you at with it? Where you at
I'll
with
circle
it?
back around about 3 or 4 months.
I'll get you off the fence. You say no, and I'm with another bitch. Like, that's how I look at
I
it.
mean, I'll be
Y'all,
I'll be
Oliver
with
is gonna
another
be
one.
Oliver. I'm learning that.
Listen, I'll be with another one too,
Done.
but just
Forever.
know I'm gonna have you on the back burner until you decide to get yourself together, because you realize the opportunity like me only comes around once in a lifetime. So
Facts.
whole different conversation. Can we get about the
Right?
kid?
Look.
Can we get about the kid?
Hey, kid.
See,
hey,
y'all
kid.
should have been talking about this earlier.
Last show you spoke about like, your Urban Outfitters collab stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like, I thought that was real big for Truly Bonded. Can you speak on that?
Definitely. Like, Okay, so we got into Urban Outfitters a couple of times in like the 2021 and 2022. And so we got to showcase our items there. We picked up like a lot of clientele. Like in that moment, I was so grateful because it was like in the very start of our brand dropping. Like I want to say like less than 6 months, not even probably 3 months. We got into Urban Outfitters, like just hitting the ground running. Like, and I really like that really helped me out because I really got to see what people liked, didn't like. I had so much feedback and it was majority positive, like awesome. Like it's literally like have been the best experience for me. So I definitely shout out to Urban Outfitters. They definitely like kind of like, the pavement. They got the pavement for us. Like we had so much clientele from that. We've been in Montgomery, Georgetown several times. Like the brand managers like calling us back to back for market events. So that's dope for Truly Bonded. Love that for us. Definitely.
And how long did it take you and your brand, I guess, to get that deal? Was it just after your first launch they reached out to you, or did you reach out to them? What was that process like?
So they definitely, so after our first launch was like, just to give everybody like a timeline, we launched in October. In October
of 2021.
Of 2021.
Okay.
Yes. 2021 we launched. And so after launching, we did that, like they had something on their Instagram, like for a marketplace, and you had to kind of apply. So their brand manager reached out to us like, hey, you guys were accepted. These are the steps. Okay, didn't hear back from them. Like November came, December came, didn't hear anything. So we're like, okay, what's going on with them? January, they're like, oh, we're back on. We had some mishaps. I'm like, okay, cool. So January 2022, we were back with them. And so that was like our first showcase. Like, y'all, we made so much money. I'm sorry, I probably made a noise. We made so much money.
It's okay, she can pay for it.
Talk your shit.
Oh my gosh, it was like so amazing. We did one day there. And then it was like, I want to say later that year, maybe like March, they called us back like, hey, you guys, like we would love to have you back. We did a 2-day experience with them. And so, bomb, amazing, made even more money. Like I was like, okay, they love, like that was like the assurance that I needed. Like, because I mean, come on now, let's like be honest. When you're first launching your brand, like how we did, it's like majority of your family members, your friends of your family. Sure. Yeah, they're all like,
being nice.
Right. And it's like, you don't know if people really
do. Really good.
Right. Like, do you guys really like it, or do you like it, or you just being nice? And so I felt like us being at Urban Outfitters, it was like, it literally like put the ticket on everything for us. Like they liked it. They loved it. Like it was literally the feedback that we got. So March, we did another one. So I think I want to say a little bit after March, they asked us to be in Georgetown. So we went to DC. Amazing. Like even on a rainy day, amazing. Like I was like, okay, it solidified it for me and for our team. Like, okay, we're doing something good. We have something good. Our vision is on track. Like our vision, our mission, like everything is on track. Like it's not for play. It
was like vindication, like all the stuff that all the like late nights, the doubts. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, you know what, this is like,
this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
My shit's good, and a national brand recognizes it. That's kind of like, that's what's up.
Even like the brand manager comes to me like, oh, like girl, like I promote your brand. Like she's like, she comes to me all the time. Like it's quality. Like I have so many people come to me like, your brand can compete with top brands. Mind you, I have top brands trying to do things, but it's cool. But like, yeah, you can compete with the top brands. And that's what people have to realize. When you have something, you need to find all ways to protect it, because these top people, even y'all, trademark, do whatever you have to do legally to protect your brand.
When
because
they see them dollars,
when they see that you have the littlest like traction, they're gonna come and try to take it from you.
Right.
So I would say too, like just protect your brand, like for like with all you have, like just protect it.
So we kind of want to talk about some future stuff. What you got coming up, and you want to go ahead and plug these hats. These ones is comfortable.
Yeah, got one on right now.
So yes, these are our Truly Bonded hats, y'all.
Shout out to the military.
Yeah, it's our unisex hats. It does have our Truly Bonded logo in the front. It's our unisex hat. It comes in 4 different colors: black and white. You have the taupe. You have the auburn, which is like the orange color, and then the one that Oliver has on is like that army green.
The olive green.
Olive green. Okay,
Olive-
now he
Olive-
renaming our
Oliver.
stuff, y'all. But yes, these are just one of the things that we have. We have sets like the one I have on. As you can see, I don't know if y'all can see, it has like the truly bonded, the same TB logo
Yeah, we can see it. We can
on
see
it. So yeah, we have like so many things for the spring and the summer coming. So yes, I would definitely say y'all follow Shop Truly Bonded on Instagram or
Hey.
Facebook. It is literally a vibe. You would definitely be comfortable and cute at the same time. You do not have to compromise.
And
You can be both.
Your links are going to be down below. And we're going to support too. We're going to start wearing your shit on here. And the hats are
Yes.
actually really good quality, guys. It's not just
I love it.
Not just some
Thank
bullshit that you
you.
get out of some China shop, sweatshop somewhere.
Yeah.
something like that.
Some has to be flat as shit on your head
Yeah.
and shit like that. I'd be like, nah, bro.
Yes, and the one that Oliver has on, y'all, is distressed in the front. It's definitely a vibe.
Nah, I fuck with that
You
too.
could wear it in the summer, spring, fall, winter. It's definitely going to catch that sweat. Y'all good.
Hey, there
The
we
fact
go.
that that has a name, that the distress joint like has a name.
I
like the edges.
I never knew what
Yeah.
the drink was called, honestly. Distress. I like that. Okay.
Mhm.
So where do you see Truly Bonded in the next 5 or 10 years? Do you want to like eventually sell it to a bigger company? Do you want to take it global? What do you want to do?
I definitely see Truly Bonnet like in major stores.
Mhm.
Like I definitely see that for us. I definitely see people being able to just walk in a store like a Macy's or Nordstrom's
Mhm.
and being able to pick up what they want, check out a regular, like as a regular shopper. I definitely see that for us. I don't see like a brick and mortar for us, but I definitely see us being in like, the department stores. I definitely see that.
I mean, to the point now, it's like you probably could do a brick and mortar, but at this point in 2023, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
It's
man?
too much overhead,
Way too much
security,
overhead,
theft.
insurance,
Too
all that
much.
shit.
And I'm gonna be honest too, and a lot of people want like exclusive deals. Well, if you sell in our stores, you can't sell to these stores, or you can't sell to
Right.
these competitors. And when it all comes said and done, like these stores are all closing down anyway, and it kind of, I think sometimes it kind of deludes the brand
Mhm.
because when you know that like, nah, I have to go to this specific site or this specific place to get truly bonded, it lets you know like, nah, like it's tight knit. When stuff starts getting everywhere, like I mean, they got Sean John up in Macy's.
Right.
Who gets Sean John?
Or
You know what I'm saying?
Marshalls,
Like-
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't
Yeah.
leaning with it, rocking with it. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody tripping.
Yeah, yeah. But my thing is like,
Wait,
it just seems like it dilutes the brand, and I think
Mhm.
having that close knit, like you said, selling it within the community, it still leaves that scarcity, so it can still
Yes.
get that demand. I think that's important as well, opposed to giving it the
Definitely.
brick and mortar. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't see us doing brick and mortar in this point in life. I just where we are, period. I don't see it in the future. I just don't.
Yeah.
And that's just me doing my research.
Unless you open your own store,
right.
or
I don't
something
see
like
that
Yeah.
either.
Right. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no, definitely. Don't
It's
see that.
really no point.
And I think
Yeah.
it would be more of a flex than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I got no money. I go with my own shit. You know what
And
I'm saying?
that's
Like,
Yeah.
too. That's what a lot of it is. Like
Yeah.
I've seen, like, and I've heard, like, a lot of big stores or big brands opening up shopping centers for no reason, just
Yeah.
to say they did it,
Yeah.
just to be able to flex. It's not
Just
a
to
flex
lose
when
money.
you're spending $2
Yeah.
million on this and
That
$2
jump
million.
will shut down the
That's
Yeah.
not a flex.
And you got to get security, and then your store get robbed, and you got to go there like, what the fuck happened? Like,
it's not a
Walmart
flex
lost
to
$2
me.
billion
I
in
I
theft.
want to do things that make sense.
exactly.
I'm telling you, I want generational wealth. Even if it's not through this stream of income, it'll be through something else.
So how was your internet buy, like your website purchasing? Man, I'm not to get in your business or anything,
Mhm.
but when people come to your site, like
Mhm.
how was that going for you?
So it's going for us, it's going pretty good. I feel like it depends on what we do. And everything is what you put in is what you will get out. So if I am going hard, if I have things on my site that's relevant to the season, it's gonna sell. So right now our conversion rate is like a 3.5, I believe, 3.7. The universal one is 2.5, I think. Like we're always above the universal conversion rate, which I commend us on. Like being a small business, like that's hard. That's hard. Like, and that just says like if 100 people come to my store, a certain amount of people are gonna buy, guaranteed. And so I think that's big. So we try to strive on little things. We try to have our high fives on like the smallest things that really actually make a big difference for us.
What states you most so get purchases on? Like
Right now for us is Florida. We have some purchases like in Michigan And of course in the DMV, we're gonna get that regardless. I feel like a lot of people go from DC is ordering. We don't offer like pickup, but they still order. So a lot of our things are coming from the DMV area, and then like Michigan, Florida, Texas is like our main states.
And I want to go back to that damn conversion rate, because that's actually a great conversion rate. Because I learn as I go through this podcast and stuff like this too, because we've gone like semi-viral a couple of times, right? I'm looking at the analytics. I'm like, okay, so all these people liking the video, they're fucking like watching the video, but they're not subscribing. So I've kind of learned that eventually people will come to your page, they'll watch your shit, they'll watch all the damn videos, but they won't subscribe or actually commit to it. It's kind of like, okay, if you get 1,000 people to come to the page,
right,
500 might watch more than one video. Of that 500, 200 might watch 2 or more videos. Of that 200, one might actually like it. It's just like it's like the farther you go down like the steps, the
go less and less.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's sometimes when that happens, usually that means that it was usually poorly marketed to a certain niche crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say if we had our podcast and we just sent it to all women, it'll get a rack of triggering and shit. But I mean, we're not going to get like a rack of followers because this is predominantly helping men. So you know what I'm saying? Opposed to if we put it to 100,000 dudes, 100,000 women ain't really too many gonna follow. 100,000 dudes is gonna be more followers. So a lot of time the conversion rate is just,
and that's fair.
We had 203K views on one video and got 500 followers.
But let me tell you, that's still not bad.
It's not.
That's not bad. When you look at the conversion, that's not bad. If you got 500 people to follow you, 200K, it sounds like a lot. But also you have to realize, what was the video about? Like how you said, Oliver, like who did you intend to target? Because 9 times out of 10, Instagram is going to show it to who they want to. You can't control that. You can't control that. If you don't have, like how we do is like, and that's what I'm getting into now is retargeting ads. So say if somebody viewed your content on Instagram, they clicked off of it for whatever reason, they go back, they're scrolling through Instagram, but they see it again, or they see an ad that you had.
Yeah.
That's retargeting, so they can just see it again.
Yeah. Sometimes studies show that people have to see it at least 7 times. Before you're bought in.
Exactly. You know, so that's the thing. That's what I researched too. It has to be shown at least 7 times.
Yes.
So whether it's through email,
and I say it like this: you don't want everybody. Because at the same time, we want to build a sustainable brand. And even though it may take longer in the long run because you're getting 50 people here, 50 people here. But people ain't numbers. Like I said, this is your community, and you want people in your community that are down, that ride for your brand.
That's supposed
not
to be
just people
there.
looking just for exactly, not just people that just looking for entertainment or flash jumps. You want people to be like, nah, man, I fuck with TK. TK, my motherfucking man. Like, fuck that. Now I fuck with Will in the background, man. That nigga drunk shit. That's my dog. Like, you
want some people that's gonna ride for you.
Yeah, people that's really bought in. So I'll take 50 people that's gonna ride over the 500 that they just there for the time.
I'm noticing like our numbers are like slowly going up. You know, it's not like 100,000 view video every single time, but it's just like it's going from like 50 to 75 to like 100. It's like it's getting it slowly but surely, but it's just like most of our results are coming from like just shit that I didn't even anticipate to happen, like that 200,000 view thing that we got.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to put that video up. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, man, I don't feel like editing this shit. I'm like, fuck. And then, that shit
it's always
up.
like that.
Yeah.
And we've done 20,000 on YouTube. People been on YouTube 10 years and they put 20,000 views. You know?
Exactly.
So it's just learning. And I'm flirting with the idea of running ads and actually getting a little bit more like niche in my demographics as far
and
as
also showing love to people that got similar brands and similar followings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's huge.
No, definitely. I would say that too. I think the first time we were on here, I did like my research on y'all. And I was like, okay, not too many followers, which is fine. But the engagement is crazy. Yeah. When I say the engagement.
Yeah. And that's what's big. That's what's big.
It's crazy. The engagement is more than the followers. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't see that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why I want people to also know with this entrepreneur stuff, it's not all about followers.
It's not.
Don't look at my followers and think that I'm not making money.
And see, and that's rookie shit because people look at us people that got 2.1 million followers, but they can't sell a fucking thing because people don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Don't see that 10 people like my little post, but don't think I'm not making money. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
you can have 500 people that's following you, and you making bread, literally making six figures off of that, or even making millions because you don't need that many people.
Yeah, you don't.
You just need your tribe, though.
You need your community that's going to stick beside you and that's going to show up and show out for you every single time. And that's what I seen on y'all page. I was like, whoa, this is insane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And like we were saying, that's why we say the people that have the largest following, a lot of the time they're broke. It's an illusion.
Yeah. It's
an illusion. It doesn't exist. But like,
shot of that shit.
Facts,
and you know, not all the time, but the majority of the time, you know, it's you got a lot of ghost followers. To me,
right?
Fuck out.
And like, you know, we're still trying to find our way and everything, but we're gonna figure it out. Once we figure it out, we're gonna be like, okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we got it now. So
once you figure out the one person, the one problem you're trying to solve, and you attack that, you'll be good.
It's curtains.
Yeah,
it's curtains.
Everything will grow. It's like a cancer. It'll grow off of that.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the same thing with you, though, kid. Like you've been doing your thing too, and like your followers are going. Like I said, I can tell you have real authentic followers because it's not just like some motherfucker, like some Chinese bot over across the street, like your shit. It's like people that we actually know.
Writing a link you can't even click.
Right.
Like followed your shit and bought for you. Like I said, we noticed that even before we even had you on. So that's just real dope to see, man.
Definitely.
So, good shit.
And people buy people. You know, you have a great personality and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure when people interact with you, they're like, yo, I fuck with her. Like she cool as shit. That means a lot too.
Yeah, so we about to wrap this up. It's late. We did our third show for the night.
Put a bow on it.
So Keya, we gonna make sure we got your links down below. Do you want to plug your Instagram, your business, all that?
Yes. So I will say you can follow us as Shop Truly Bonded, and that's like truly TRULY bonded BONDED. And you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you like. We sell comfortable loungewear for men and women.
All her links will be down below. Last thoughts on the show, Will.
It's my motherfucking birthday.
Yeah, Will.
That's all nigga be saying all night.
All night.
Shout out to my nigga.
Hey, last thoughts on the show, Oliver.
Hey man, it's great, man. So like I said, it's great. If you listen to this whole thing, you picked up a lot of game. Like I said, follow me at Fortune, like I said, with 12 E's. Don't start laughing, Will. But all about progression over here. I want to make men and women, the best them that they can be. So if you want to be the best them you could be, person you could be, you want truth, follow me. You want lies, get the fuck out of here.
We got a lot of fire content coming for you guys too. We gonna get this shit together, man. Keya, I'm gonna say this, like, it's very rare we can have a woman down here that can just, go verbal spar with us and agree to disagree,
or even stomach us,
and not take it and not get offended. And on top of it, I want to let this be known: we actually did the after hours show before we did the entrepreneurship show, and a lot of girls that ain't gonna fly with us. You know what I'm saying? At the time they get done with the fucking after hours, I'll be like, these niggas assholes, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. But Keya stayed around. She a real one, man. Part of the family.
So she part of the tribe.
We appreciate you, Keya.
No problem. I really want to say that y'all genuine as hell. Like, no, and seriously, I would definitely say women and men tap in because y'all literally can learn something. If not, chime in, like, say your thoughts. Whatever you feel, do it. Like, the perception is everything.
No, Keya, we actually hate women down here. In case that's what everybody
Y'all
says.
Do not hate
so
women,
apparently, hey, listen, I'm just telling you what we were told. Okay, that's all we were told.
Oliver is just strong-minded, and he like 3 women. If y'all don't come down here in threes,
that's it.
He might not fuck with y'all.
Hey, look, everybody loves a villain.
Hey, man, facts.
Another E.
Not another E.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, 3 times 4 is 12.
Oh my god.
This
12 E's.
This is a Shattered Illusionz.
12 E's. That's why you got 12
hoes.
Kill the fantasy, build a dream. We out here.
Happy B-Day, Will.
Will I take him to the great?